Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Falcons, the Men of North Catholic. Tonight, I'm joined with
Bob Devine, class of 73, from K&A in Ascension Parish.
K&A. And Bob, as a matter of fact, that's the year I was born. So it's
Thanks.
we have something in common tonight. I was born and you graduated. So you ready to take a walk down memory lane at North Catholic?
Sure. Be happy to.
So Bob, I'm sure we can both agree that North Catholic had some amazing teachers and oblates, and each of us had our own particular favorite one or even both. Who would have stood out to you?
First of all, would be Larry Connie, because he coached me in basketball a couple of years, and I had him one term in accounting, but mainly because of his coaching and getting to know him. And actually, I kept in touch with him a little bit over the years. Whenever I get down to one of the reunions, next to him, probably as far as teachers, Mr. Butler stands out, and Father Dennis, mainly because they busted your chops. They had a real dry sense of humor, but they would, if they didn't think you were giving as much as you should be giving, they let you know. So yeah, I mean, they kind of stand on. Father Hurley too. Of course, everyone knew Father Hurley, and he actually one summer we had a summer basketball team to try to keep keep our talents up, whatever there were. And he coached our team up at Juniata Park. We were in a league up there. So so he comes to mind also.
One of the good things you can always say about the teachers and the oblates at North Catholic, they did one of two things. They either liked you or hated you, and if they didn't like you, they kicked your ass and tried to keep you in line.
That's true. Yeah, they didn't pull any punches, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, this is a school where, I mean, if you didn't succeed or you didn't, do what you're supposed to do, it was just basically off of what you're doing, because all you had to do was give some effort, and they would have given you 100%. It's
No, I gotta say that. I mean, I moved away a long time ago, but I did run into who was it? I think it's Father Gondek once down in the shore before I moved away, and it was just kind of weird seeing them out of the element, away from school. Like they're normal people, but when you're there, they're a little bit above that.
Yeah. So when you were at North Catholic, did you participate in any sports or any clubs that North had to offer?
I did play basketball for a couple of years, my freshman and sophomore year. Then I took a job at Sears on the Boulevard, and I was on the German club because I had 4 years of German, only because the teachers told me you want to go to college, you had to have 4 years of language, which I don't think was true, but that made me keep on top of that. In murals, of course, everyone played in murals, and after that I started working, I really wasn't able to spend a lot of time after class because I had to go to work. Basketball, I enjoyed that for the 2 years that I played.
Yeah. So how do you think North Catholic got at you to where you are today?
I think probably the discipline that they instilled in you. They treated you, even though we were kids, but they treated you as a young adult, and they expected you to act as such. And although they could joke and be casual around you, they really expected you to be a young man. And I got to say that kind of sticks with you the rest of your life.
Yeah, I agree, totally. So let's talk a little bit about North Catholic's infamous cafeteria. In 1973, what was the go-to food?
Well, I got to tell you, and I think when I watched your interview with Chris Mullen, and I'm along the same line. I never really ate the cafeteria food. I always had a brown bag lunch. I might get a soda or something like that, but I couldn't tell you. I knew they sold hot dogs, so the guys sitting around, you might have a hot dog or something. But I really never ate their food, so I can't really comment too well on that.
I guess the question to ask at that point was it a good thing that you didn't eat the food?
Well, I guess it depends who you talk to. I don't remember too many guys saying what a great lunch it was. So I don't think I missed anything.
Justice under God, otherwise
Yeah.
known as Jug.
Yeah.
Being in the profession that you've been, have you participated in Jug? Where did you stand there?
I think I was there a couple times, but the one that sticks out in my head was I think I did a week there, and that was because I usually walk to school from where I lived, but occasionally I would take the L, and I was up on the K&A L stop one time, and the L pulled up, and a bunch of North guys got off, and they started saying, "We're going to walk to school" or something. There was like I don't know, maybe a dozen or more. I don't know what the motivation was, but they convinced everybody to get off the L, go down to Kensington Avenue, walk down Kensington to North. By the time we got there, we were all late, and there was I guess it was Father disciplinarian. It wasn't Kosnick, it was Quayle. I think Father Quayle was standing outside the front door waiting on us. And of course, we all walked in right to the office to get our jug slips. We had to spend a week in jug. And outside of that, maybe once or twice for, I don't know, talking in class or something like that.
For a minute there, I thought you were going to say you guys got off and did the catwalk along the L.
No. Although I could see some guys doing that, but no, we didn't do that.
Oh, God. Hey, let me ask you a question. 1973, obviously I'm 47, going on 48 years ago. Do you remember your first day of school, or what do you remember anywhere about, like walking in there for the very first time, coming from the parish that you were in, and then, making it into Northeast Catholic High School?
Well, my brother, Jack, preceded me. He graduated in '69. So I had been up there probably, for a basketball game, or I think I went to a couple football games when I was in grade school. But he was gone when I got there. So the only people are the kids from your parish. And we kind of stuck together because we're all intimidating. I mean, you're there, the huge school, you're wearing a coat and tie and all that. And of course, the seniors and the juniors are picking on you, for whatever, knocking your books out of your hand or something silly like that. So it was intimidating. And I'm looking at my class schedule. I had chemistry my freshman year, and I was very worried about that because I was never that great in science or math for that matter. And I was really scared about taking chemistry. And that's one reason I didn't go out for football, because I was afraid of my classes. So it was an eye-opening experience when you first got there.
Yeah. What would have been your fondest memory at North Catholic?
I would say basketball practice with the guys that I was playing with for those first 2 years. Just getting to know the guys. I think when you're doing an activity together like that, you become closer. I played in intramurals. The guys in your homeroom, you got to know them, fairly well. And it's just meeting new guys and becoming friends with them, even if they weren't from your neighborhood. That's the thing that probably stands out most in my mind.
So when you obviously you remember being in the cafeteria, or whether it's morning or lunchtime, each neighborhood had their own section in the cafeteria. Did you always sit with the neighborhood guys that you had, or did you venture out and make other friends and just hang pretty much? Were you like a free spirit, or?
I don't remember that being the case when I was there, hanging out with. I mean, maybe in the beginning, because that's the people you knew. But I think as the longer you were there, the guys you meet in class or you were playing sports with or whatever, you tended to hang more with them if they had the same lunchtime as you did. Obviously, a big part of it is, who's at lunchtime, lunch when you're at lunch. I don't remember really being a neighborhood thing as much as the people that you were in class with or hanging out with in different activities.
So who was your crew? If you were to give shout outs to guys that you went to school with, you haven't seen in years, who was the crew that Bob Devine hanged out with?
Again, it was probably some of the guys like on basketball. Brodzinski, Mike Kaiser. I know you interviewed Mike Borski. He was ahead of me, so I didn't know him that well. John Taylor, John Chakimowicz, Kevin Pierce. I mean, the guys that I played. I think there were certain guys in class that I hung out with. Again, some from the neighborhood. I've lost touch with a lot of them because I haven't lived in Philly since I left in '79. But I've kept in touch, especially with Mike Kaiser, Jimmy O'Connor. The more recent guys that I kept in touch with. I get up to Philly whenever I can. Hang out with my brothers, go to games, whatever, and occasionally we'll go to a football game together. My college football team, something like that. But Kaiser, O'Connor, Brodzinski, they're the ones that the more recent ones that I've kept in touch with.
I didn't ask this question to a lot of people, and I actually still remember mine. By any chance, do you remember your locker combination?
Oh my God. No, no, not at all. No, I probably forgot when I was there.
Were you able to cycle through it real quick with one hand and bang it?
I don't know if I did on one hand, but I never was not able to get into my locker, so I guess I was okay. I probably wrote it down with a piece of paper somewhere and kept it in my pocket.
There was just certain things, and I'm sure it might have happened in all the schools, but just certain things that a lot of North guys can relate to, through the years. And one of the things I want to mention to you was, what tickets did you sell to freshmen? I'm hearing back in the day they were taking them to go watch the Falcon fly. And gentleman I interviewed last night said it was the swimming pool. There was some kind of a ladder in the auditorium, and they're showing the kids how was that. What did you guys do?
I don't remember anything with the Falcon. I remember the step. There's like a ladder on the roof that looked like it would go to a pool, and I do remember them talking about that. I never bought any tickets. Never sold any tickets, but I remember guys saying that there was a pool on the roof. And I never did go up to the roof to see what exactly that ladder was for, but that was the only thing I recall that they might sell tickets to.
Each classroom, if you remember, we always had the direction of intention, the class prayer. By any chance, do you remember that?
I do not remember that. No, not at all.
My God, I give you this class. Please give me the grace to conduct myself during it.
Now that you say that, yeah, that sounds familiar. So yeah, I probably did, but I don't remember.
But you know what? I don't think the prayer ever worked because you always had jokesters in there regardless.
Oh yeah, no one was probably paying attention when they did it anyway. So. Now that you say the words, it does kind of come back to me.
So 2009, the word finally comes out, the Archdiocese, that North Catholic is going to close for good. Although we've been told many different stories, when a story hits to you, through all the memories that you had and the good times and playing sports, what goes through your mind when you find out that North Catholic's finally closing?
Well, I live in Virginia now. That's where I was living at the time. And my older brother Jack, and my brother Brian were involved with a alumni association, and they would keep me informed about what was going on. Besides the newsletters, you would get that kind of thing. And so they were raising money. At the time, the sense was that it was going to stay. That they had this North guy I think he was out of Chicago, or the organization was out of Chicago, that was going to come in and save the day. And it looked very promising. And for whatever reason, because I believe the Alumni Association offered to buy the school from the Archdiocese. And for whatever reason, they would not go with it. In fact, the school that's there now, the charter school, I believe paid less than what the Alumni Association offered them. So I'm not sure what the reasoning was behind the scenes, why that happened. But like a lot of guys, I was pretty angry about it. And I didn't understand it, why they couldn't go in another direction. But it is what it is. Yeah,
I mean, especially nowadays, my daughter went to St. Hubert's, and they were actually given a chance. Like, hey, listen, you had to raise X amount of dollars if you guys want to keep the school open. Why weren't we afforded that opportunity like the other kids were? You know what I mean? I had an interview with Ernie Koshnick, and Ernie Koshnick had said that they just had to have so many kids, and he's like, hey, I can do that, but and this is back, whenever, and so why weren't Cardinal Doherty, why weren't we given an opportunity?
And I don't understand it either. I mean, saying we needed a certain amount of kids, the bottom line comes down to money to keep the school going.
Mhm.
And if you have the money to do it, and I think for many years, even after you probably, they were giving a lot of scholarships out to keep the students coming. And some of them were full scholarship. So I don't know why they did that. I mean, I'm sure there was something going on behind the scenes in the archdiocese that we weren't aware of, but it was pretty disheartening.
Yeah. Well, we're all falling on tough times here with the COVID, and last year, well, we had that Norphans reunion every year, which is incredible.
Right.
But with everything going on in the world today, obviously we can't do it. So, is there anything that you would like to share to all the guys that you haven't seen in years? Any well wishes to everybody who's going to watch this video today?
Yeah, it's funny. Occasionally, I mean, I don't live anywhere near Philly, but occasionally you run into guys. Like last week, one of my brothers and I, Jim, who graduated in '76, we went down to Clearwater, which we do almost every year that we can during spring training. And we usually do it during the week of St. Patrick's Day. And I don't know if you've ever been down there, but in the Phillies game, that's like the most sought after game during spring training. And you'll see a lot. And I was there last week. As a matter of fact, I was able to get tickets for the game the day before, and I couldn't get tickets for St. Patrick's Day because first of all, they're only selling like a third of the stadium. And I went online as soon as I heard they were on sale, and I couldn't get. They were sold out by the time I even opened the website. Well, Barry Brzezinski, I don't know if you know this, but his sons is a coach on the Phillies,
Mm-hmm.
and Barry wasn't down there, when I was there, but he called his son. And he hooked me up with a couple of tickets for St. Patrick's Day. And I got to yell at him, down on the bullpen while I was there to thank him and to talk with him a little bit. But and then once we chatted, I went up to the Tiki Bar. I don't know if you've been there, but they have this bar called Tiki Bar. And there was maybe a dozen North guys. I was wearing a North shirt. My brother was wearing a North hat, or vice versa. And all these guys came up to us. Oh, you from North? Blah, blah, blah. We spent 2/3 of the game just talking to them about North.
Yeah.
None of them were in my class, but, it didn't matter. You were a North guy. Even there were a couple of Doherty guys from the neighborhood, but different schools. And it was just a blast, just talking stories, and, sharing neighborhood stories or school stories. And, it doesn't happen to me very often. But when it does, I really love it. It's a good time.
And that's basically what this project was all about that I took on. I'm sitting home one night, New Year's Eve to be exact, and going through YouTube and seeing old this, old that, North Catholic. But I'm like, you know what? Where's everybody's stories? Like you had just mentioned, you're Clearwater, Florida, to watch the Phillies game. You're wearing North gear, and guys you never met before come up to you, and you spend a portion of the game talking about North Catholic. You and I never met each other before in our lives,
Right.
and here we are having a conversation. This is what it's all about: keeping the memory of North Catholic alive. And I wanted to thank you for rescheduling a couple times like we did.
That's
but
okay.
but here we are, and like I said, two gentlemen who never had an opportunity to meet each other, sitting down having a conversation about your memories at North Catholic.
Yeah, there's actually a woman down on the Clearwater at the game too. I think she was the wife of one of the guys. And she said, you North guys, says you're I think she was from St. Basil's, whatever. And she said, I can't believe the reunions you guys have. There's nothing close to it.
Mm-hmm.
And even though the school's closed, it's been closed for several years now. That'll never go away. As long as our guys are still alive, until the last guy is gone, I think that's going to be there. That camaraderie that they have. So,
have you ever made it down to the Norphans reunions?
Well, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, there is no alumni reunion anymore. So the only one is the Norphans reunion. So that's the one everyone goes to, and it's packed.
It's probably deemed, and this is going not only talking to North guys, but a couple of guys I know that work in Wildwood's Police Department. That's pretty much the biggest alumni reunion on the island
Oh,
today.
no
I
doubt.
mean, it's just insane, you know?
And the fact that the school's not even there anymore, and it's still
Exactly.
the biggest, that tells you something.
Yep, yep. So I usually have a little fun towards the end of my things here, and I'm going to grab a little thing. I usually do a little North Catholic trivia
Oh, God.
based off of Wikipedia. Now, I don't
All right.
expect to get no correct answers, but I tried to base one off of your school year. So this is
Okay.
going to be off of off one of the clubs that North Catholic used to have. I'm not going to tell you what it is,
Okay.
but in 1973,
All
North captured its third consecutive first place award in what North Catholic club?
That's got to be the United Nations, I forget what it's called, debate club, or
You're
the UN debating club or something like that.
you are 100% correct.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, it's the whole thing specifies a 1971 school year marked by the Model UN debating team, coached by Reverend John J. Hurley, OSFS, winning a first place award at the Harvard University Model UN with an all junior lineup. For the third consecutive year in 1973, North captured first place awards at the Harvard Model UN Championship. So congratulations on it.
That's amazing, because I had one class with Father Early, and he would do like a mini version of that in class. And the preparation that must have taken these guys to participate in this is amazing.
Yeah.
So we had a few smart guys in school.
Yeah. Well, Bob, I want to thank you for taking time away from your family to sit here and have a discussion with me about your time in North Catholic and all the alumni guys that are going to watch this. And I just want to thank you for your time, and hopefully we could see each other at one of these orphans reunions.
I look forward to it.
All right, brother. You have a good night.
You too. Good night.
See ya.